Welcome. My name is Devin Arms, and I am the Director of Technology Innovation here at the Tippecanoe School Corporation. I also have the pleasure of being the founding principal of the Tippecanoe Online Academy, which is our brand new online school that we plan to launch next school year, the 24-25 academic year. So thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your afternoon to join us here for the open house. Our goal tonight is just to share some high-level information with you, potentially answer any questions you may have, and also give you a chance to ask any questions that you may be wondering, and we'll hopefully be able to provide you with some answers. So before we get going, though, I'm going to let the others from the team introduce themselves, so they can go ahead and do that.
Hi, everyone. I am Sarah Margison. I'm the coordinator of Connected Learning here at TSC, and I am in charge of the curriculum development for the Tippecanoe Online Academy.
Hello, my name is Sarah Clemmy, and I am the enrollment specialist here at Tippecanoe Online Academy. I have been with TSC for 8 years now, and I'm so excited to get this online learning up and going for TSC. It's a huge, huge opportunity for students.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susie Sherlow. I'm a math teacher at McCutcheon High School. I've been a teacher here since fall of 2013.
Very good. So a quick rundown of our agenda for tonight. We're some quick housekeeping items. There is both a Q&A and a chat feature available here in the Zoom. If you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to enter the question in either of those areas, and then we'll do our best to answer those at the end. We have a slide at the end for Q&A. As far as the agenda goes, I'm going to touch on some of the rationale for why TSC is starting an online school, what led us to this point. I'm going to talk a bit about our partnership with Arizona State University, which we feel really sets us apart from other online schools here in the state and even regionally. We'll talk about the courses that will be available next school year at the Online Academy, as well as some of the other program offerings. And then we'll also spend some time talking about the student experience and what students can expect if they enroll at the Online Academy for next school year. All right, so what led us to this point? Here at the Tippecanoe School Corporation, we have observed over the last 5+ years the number of school districts who are doing e-learning days and kind of dipping their toes into the online realm of education. And to this point, we really have just taken a view of just kind of watching how that has played out and learning from some of the things that other schools and other school districts have done. But I think post-COVID, it's become increasingly clear to us that there is a growing number of students who are interested in pursuing their education online. There are many reasons for that we could speculate on, whether it's social anxiety or they just want flexibility in their day to pursue other interests or to possibly work. Many students have alternative learning styles that just seem to do better, at home or in a more quiet environment. We've also seen a growing number of parents who are now working remotely, and so they find that the online option appealing for their kiddos so that they can have more flexibility as a family, to travel or do different things. It also provides them an opportunity to have maybe a higher level of parental involvement than they might be able to have at a traditional brick and mortar school. So all of these things together, plus many other reasons that probably exist as far as why a student may want to go to high school online, really just called us to start this offering for our community and the students in the area. So we know that, locally there are upwards of 200 or so students who have chosen to pursue their schooling online. Statewide, we believe that number is close to 15,000 students who are pursuing their education online. Many of those students are attending either an online charter school or an online school that has been started by a school corporation but has been outsourced to a third-party company to operate. So one of the things here at TSC that we really wanted to do was to provide a local option for our families. So local teachers, a local presence to really provide that sort of experience that they're accustomed to here at our brick and mortar schools at the Tippecanoe School Corporation.
So that brought us to creating this dynamic and comprehensive learning experience for our students. So we were really trying to help meet the needs of the students living in the TSC boundaries that have maybe chosen to attend other schools or homeschooling and maybe need an alternative option to help with some of those high school courses. But we're also trying to reach students outside of TSC, not just the students that we serve here in our brick and mortar schools, but also those students across the state of Indiana that are also seeking that personalized and flexible online learning environment, and one that really is personal to them with teachers that live in their state. And then the other thing that we're doing with this online school is really supporting our existing brick and mortar schools by offering some of our rigorous courses to those students to be able to supplement some of their in-person courses. So as we went through this process of creating all of these things, we knew that we weren't able to do this by ourselves. So we have decided to partner with Arizona State University. They have a prep digital K-12 online education platform, and they're really leaders in this area. And we felt like they were going to be the best ones to consult us on all the things we needed to do to bring out an amazing online high school experience to students here in Indiana. So we are working with ASU to train our teachers on best practices for online education, build some of that course curriculum, and that's where I come into play. And then just overall program development, policies, student handbooks, ideas to engage students that we may not see face-to-face every day. So Arizona State is really helping us bring the best in online education right to the state of Indiana.
So here at TOA, we have put together a library of courses for students to choose from to complete the requirements for the Indiana Core 40 diploma. Students are going to be placed in classes necessary for graduation, as well as one of the 4 graduation pathway options that TOA has created. Those pathways are human services, digital design, business management, and hospitality management. The students will have their choice of one of those pathways. We are also ensuring that our students are able to choose from multiple career and technical options. We also have Spanish and or German available for the students that would like to earn world language credits. So there are a vast amount of classes that they can choose from. Not just not just the core classes of English, math, and science.
Okay, so my kid enrolls in TOA. What does that look like? Because we all know, okay, they get on the bus, they go to the school, they learn everything, and then they come home. So what does it look like when my student is taking classes online? We would like to say that students can plan on an average of about 5 hours of class time per day. Obviously, that doesn't need to be a 5-hour chunk. That can be in hour increments. It can be in 30-minute increments, really whatever works best for the students. We're all about flexibility here. The other thing that students can look forward to are 1-hour live Zoom sessions, kind of like this, with their teachers. The really nice thing that we're offering for our students is that all of these Zooms will be recorded and available for the students to watch later. So again, that flexibility, allowing our students to learn on their own schedule is really big. So everything is asynchronous, and you've maybe heard that word before, asynchronous, and it's like, what does that mean? That's flexibility for us. Students can work whenever and wherever they want. Even if they've got a part-time job, maybe they're helping take care of things in the house, they can schedule their classes around all those responsibilities. Students' daily routine may consist of obviously their classwork, but then checking in with their learning success coach, checking in with their teachers, just seeing how are you pacing yourself through this work, and are we going to get from point A to point B from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester? Students are able to balance their time from between working through the lessons, watching some videos, reading some course materials, interacting with the content, submitting some assignments, but they really have the flexibility to do those things on their own schedule. Assessments are done similar to how you would see them in a typical school, where we'll have quizzes, we'll have tests, we'll have final exams. We'll also have something called discussion-based assessments. This is a time for your student to meet with their teachers individually to allow their teachers to just gauge, like, does Johnny understand this material that we've been talking about? Are there any gaps? And what can I do to make sure that Johnny feels totally supported?
Each and every day for the students is different, and it affords them the opportunity to develop their leadership and critical thinking skills by setting up their day that works best for them, to ensure that they are able to complete everything on time. They can take a break when they need to, meet a friend for lunch, take the dog for a walk, just take a brain break and kind of recharge for the day. It's totally up to them and when and how it works best for them. They literally get to set their own schedule. And with the help of our teachers and their learning success coach, they can customize their online learning experience to do just that, to work for their lifestyle.
And of course, for those of you thinking there's no way my kid can set up their own schedule right now, we will help them through that process. So we have our student orientation course that all students will go through. And then this leads perfectly into the next thing that makes Tippecanoe Online Academy unique, and that's our wellness and employability skills. So Indiana employers are looking for highly skilled employees, whether the students are going to go straight into a job, they're going to go to a 2-year or 4-year program and then into the workforce. We're all looking for these skills for our students. So our learning success coach and our teachers are going to help develop these things over the 4 years that your students, or 1 or 2 or 3 years that your students spend with us. Things like self-discipline, confidence, perseverance, problem solving, attention to detail, integrity. These are all items that Indiana has outlined for us, and we will be taking those and packaging them for the students and giving them time to meet with trusted adults that can help them develop these skills over the years, so that when they graduate, they are ready for whatever the next challenge may be.
So you may have heard Sarah and Sarah mention the term learning success coach in the last few minutes. We feel this is kind of like our secret sauce. This is something that's really going to set our program apart from others. And that is a role that we're calling learning success coach. Each student will be assigned a learning success coach, and our goal is for that individual to be with each student throughout their career at our online academy. So, if your student is starting as a freshman, they'll be assigned their learning success coach, and then that person will be with them for the next 4 years as they pursue their academics at TOA. So this person is really going to be the main point of contact for students and parents at the online academy. So, when you think of a typical high school student schedule, they may have 6 or 7 different teachers each semester potentially. And so the learning success coach is really that constant for them, that person who's going to help keep them on track, who's going to give them personalized attention, who's going to hold them accountable, who's going to help with communication between the student and their teachers and other supports that may need to be offered. So again, academic support, personal support. I think Sarah mentioned they're going to be instrumental in working with the students to set goals, to develop their daily and weekly schedules, They're going to keep track of their progress in our learning management system, Canvas, to make sure that they're keeping up in their courses, that assignments are getting done, that assessments are being completed successfully. And then they may also provide some basic technology support. So if a student's having issues getting connected to their Zoom classes or opening things in Canvas, they might be able to provide some support there as well. So again, we're really excited about this. You know, this specific role isn't something that we have in our traditional schools, just because there are so many other supports and resources available. So we think that in an online setting, having this dedicated person to work closely with students is really going to set them up to be successful in our program.
All right. So everybody, you might be wondering why I might be in the meeting if I'm a teacher at McCutcheon High School. And the truth is, when I found out that this was being launched, I was very excited about it and pretty much just asked to be involved in any small way that I can. I was finishing my master's online about 11 years ago. And I remember when I started my online program, you know, the format was foreign to me. I wasn't completely convinced that I was going to get as much out of it compared to an in-person type of situation. But I was teaching full time. Our 4 children at the time were in, you know, high school, middle school, and elementary school. You know, I was just very busy. That format was the only way that I could join a master's program and complete. And it was an asynchronous program as well, which was perfect for me, you know, so that I could do the work when I could, figure out my pacing and my scheduling. Over the years as a classroom teacher, I've been in the classroom since, 1991. I've just noticed a trend that, you know, the in-person model is not ideal for everybody. And, you know, I've just been thinking increasingly over the years that we need an alternative for, you know, some of our students. And so, you know, for whatever reason, you know, I have a family member, and it was about the time I was finishing my master's program. She was having a medical situation that was keeping her out of high school her junior year. It was a difficult time for her, you know, and I just remember thinking at the time, if only she had an opportunity similar to what I had just finished with my master's program to be able to continue her schooling. I just think it's a great alternative for definitely a pocket of our students. What makes our online academy different is the fact that it's asynchronous. You know, I have a student this year, and as we've chatted over the last several months, and, you know, I've been so impressed with her work ethic, her time management skills, that, you know, the more we chatted, I found out that she had been in an online school the last 2 years. And so, of course, that piqued my interest. And I started asking her questions and how did it go? And funny enough, you know, we've had a lot of conversations about this. I have a feeling that had a lot to do with her maturity, her time management skills. I mean, she is thriving. You know, she's doing great now as she did re-enter in-person learning. But today she mentioned, we were chatting, and I can't remember how it came up, but I had mentioned, hey, you know, we're going to be having an online academy next year, and it's going to be asynchronous. And I told her what that meant. She said, "You're kidding. I didn't have that opportunity. I always wanted to have that chance to work ahead if I wanted to." And so I just love that flexibility that it will afford students. And like the others have touched on, you know, these are skills that are going to help them in the future. They're going to learn how to navigate online platforms that will very likely come in handy, whether it's, you know, in a college setting, perhaps, or in a work setting. You know, there's more and more work that's going remote. So just the digital skills that they're going to be learning is tremendous. And, finally, I just wanted to touch on that local touch will make a huge difference for students and teachers. It's going to be part of a well-established school system. Teachers will have a technology team that, they are already familiar with, not just to help with technical issues. Hey, something's going on with my computer, but it's more importantly for the students. We are constantly being given ideas for our classes now. So this is for, of course, in person, and it'll be for online as well. Ideas to make our classes more interesting, more engaging for students. And the certification process that we have gone through in order to be able to teach online. We learned a lot about that. How's this going to look? How will we make it more engaging for the students? How can we give that personal touch? And, being part of the Tippecanoe School Corporation, we'll have access to local resources that are already in place. So I think those were the main things that I just wanted to have the opportunity to share.
So some important dates that are upcoming. If you haven't already, the enrollment application window is open, so you can utilize, or you can access that at the TOA website under apply at TOA. I think I see some names here that are in the call or in the Zoom with us that have already done that, but if you haven't, that is the process to enroll here at TOA. July 8th is going to be the first day for the yearly online registration to be completed. If your student is already within TSC, you should be familiar with that. You complete it through your parent portal account in PowerSchool. And again, it's the yearly online registration. And if your child has already been accepted to TOA, you'll just need to make sure that you change the school that they will be attending for the 24-25 school year from their in-person building to TOA. And the student orientation week that we are going to be implementing will start on August 13th, and it will be 4 days in length. There will be live sessions, online assignments, and instructions on how to utilize the digital tools and resources available to TOA students. At the end of that, which would be Friday, August 16th, then the following Monday, the 19th of August, is when the scheduled coursework is going to begin for all TOA students.
All right, this brings us to our Q&A slide. So we have had a few questions come through the Q&A and the chat, so we'll touch on those first. And then we have a few more that have come through consistently via our contact form over the last several weeks and months. So we'll go over some of those as well. So the first question that came through, my child has missed a lot of school days to physically not being able to be in the classroom because of severe headaches and stomach issues. How would that work online? So I think this is a situation where the flexibility and having the autonomy to choose when during the day you're going to do your work really lends itself well to these types of situations. We know many students who go to our brick and mortar schools have either a Section 504 plan or maybe even IEP because of some of these issues that they're dealing with and the accommodations that they need. Those plans, whether it be an IEP or a 504 plan, will obviously still be in effect in the online setting. However, we feel that just the flexibility that will be afforded to students in terms of, hey, I'm not really feeling well today. I woke up, I have a bad headache. I'm going to go back to bed for a couple hours and then maybe wake up, and after lunch, I'm going to dive into some of my coursework. So there will just be some of those natural accommodations that are available to all of our students. And I think for students who do have either a physical or some sort of an emotional situation going on, I think that it will be a real asset for them. So another question, will students be able to participate in host activities such as prom. I think it's probably good to just clarify here that when students enroll in the Tippecanoe Online Academy, they will no longer be enrolled at another school. So they won't be dual enrolled at Harrison or McCutcheon, which are our two brick and mortar high schools here in the Tippecanoe School Corporation. They will be 100% enrolled at the Tippecanoe Online Academy. And so because of that, they will not be eligible to participate in activities at those other schools. So they wouldn't be able to, be on the basketball team or, participate in band or choir or anything like that, because those programs are for students that are enrolled at those schools. However, that being said, we do intend to offer some similar, kind of offerings through the online academy. Now, obviously, we're not going to have athletics and athletic teams and a choir and a band, but we do envision having different types of student clubs and activities that students can get engaged in. We do plan to host an in-person graduation ceremony. So students who graduate after their senior year and earn a diploma from TOA will have the opportunity to walk in an in-person graduation commencement ceremony. And if a student enrolls at TOA and they happen to be invited to go to prom with a McCutcheon or Harrison student, they could certainly go to those proms. But just as a TOA student, they wouldn't be able to do that just on their own unless they had a date with a Harrison or McCutcheon student, right? So hopefully that answered that question. Let's see, what else do we have here? This is one that we've gotten frequently. Can I attend TOA if I'm an adult looking to finish my high school diploma? This program is not intended for adult learners. Here in Lafayette in Tippecanoe County, we are fortunate to have some other services that would allow that, whether that be the Excel Center or some other options that are available. But the Tippecanoe Online Academy is really intended for high school age students who are taking courses for the first time. So, the first exposure to a course, not necessarily, hey, I need to make up a lot of courses, or, I'm my late 20s and I want to get my high school diploma. There are certainly other opportunities for that available. But the TOA is really just for high school age students. Another question, do you offer classes to help students catch up on missed credits or stay on track for graduation? So for the first year, we will not have any sort of credit recovery offerings available. So what I mean by credit recovery is typically at our high schools, we have some programs in place that allow students to catch up on credits in an accelerated manner. So maybe they take some computerized courses that allow them to complete, a semester-long course in maybe 5 weeks or 6 weeks, just to kind of catch up and earn those credits that they need to stay on track for graduation. We will not be offering any credit recovery options in our first year, so students would only be able to take the courses that they are going to be scheduled in based on their graduation needs, right? So if they're credit deficient, and this is something that Sarah Clemmy will go through with students and families at their kind of orientation meeting or their enrollment meeting, then we can talk about some other options maybe that could be available at their current school. But for us, we won't have any of those things in place, at least for the first year. Another question, are there any fees or book fees? No, there are not. So this is a completely tuition-free option. Schools are not able to charge any sort of fees to students anymore, and that same thing applies to TOA. So there are no book fees, no technology fees, nothing along those lines. Another question, we don't live in the TSE boundaries. Can my child still attend TOA? Yes. So although we've said several times that, we've really created this option for students in Tippecanoe County who are wanting to go to school online, we are open to any student living in the state who is looking for a quality online offering. So we know there are other options available, but we can enroll students who maybe live in surrounding counties, that border us here in Tippecanoe County, but above and beyond that, really any student living in the state of Indiana would be eligible to enroll at TOA. So, another question, would I have to come on site to do any sort of testing or assessments? The only time students would be required to come on site would be to complete state required standardized testing. So what I mean by that would be the PSAT and the SAT that are required for students to take. They would have to come on site to take those tests, typically in the spring. Information will be shared next spring about what that looks like. We'll likely have some testing options available at our 2 high schools. We'll likely also have some testing options available here at the administrative offices at the Tippecanoe School Corporation. So our goal is to make that as painless as possible for students. We know, they want to be fully online, but the state of Indiana does require us to administer those assessments in person. So. Right, I think that is all of the questions that we have. Last slide here. We are offering TOA students a really awesome deal to purchase a Google Chromebook for $100 through one of our trusted technology device partners. So we have information about this on our website, but basically you can navigate to this special portal for TOA students, and you can purchase a Chromebook and a charger for $100. So we really recommend students use Chromebooks. It's just going to be the easiest for them and for their teachers. It's a low cost option that is very reliable and it doesn't typically have any technical issues. Students are also welcome to use, a Windows PC or a Mac, a MacBook, anything like that. We do discourage iPads and tablets just because of some of the differences in functionality there. We feel students would need a keyboard and they would need a webcam. Obviously, if you have any specific questions about that, we'd be happy to discuss them, but we do want to make everybody aware of this discounted device purchase option because unlike our traditional schools, we will not be providing students with devices. So at Harrison and McCutcheon High School, every student gets a device that they use throughout the school year. Because of the logistics of the online academy, we will not be providing students with devices. So if you have a student that goes to McCutcheon or Harrison this year and they have a Chromebook, when they withdraw from Harrison or McCutcheon, they would have to return that Chromebook, and then next year, if they're going to the online academy next year, they would either need to provide their own or they could take advantage of the discounted purchase option here to purchase a Chromebook. So there are a lot of reasons why we've kind of gone this route. A lot of it has to do with just technical support. And, if we do happen to enroll students who live 1, 2, 3 hours away, we feel we might be put in a tough position there to provide technical support on devices that we issue for students who don't live in the area. So that's kind of what led us to kind of where we're at right now with the device piece. But again, if you have any specific questions on that or would like to discuss further, please don't hesitate to reach out. So. All right, well, this brings us to the end of our virtual open house. So hopefully this has been informative for you. I know that Sarah, and Susie have shared some excellent perspectives and information as far as their contributions to starting this new school. We're very excited about it. We feel positive and validated that we're going to be offering this to students in the community. If you have any questions whatsoever, the first place you would want to visit is our website. So if you go to the Tippecanoe School Corporation website, and you go to our schools and high schools, you'll see Tippecanoe Online Academy as an option. You can also navigate there directly by going to toa.tsc.k12.in.us. But we have a ton of information there, detailed information about the courses that will be available, course descriptions, more information about what it's like to be a student at TOA. So we really encourage you to go there if you're seeking more information or if you're on the fence about whether this is going to be a good option for your child. Furthermore, there's a contact form on our website that you're welcome to submit if you have questions or need feedback about anything, feel free to contact us using that contact form. And then also we have our direct email addresses there on the website, as well as all of our phone numbers. So we are happy to communicate with you in whatever manner is easiest for you, whether that's through the online form or via email or via phone. So if you have any questions, or again, just want to discuss what this might look like for your child, please don't hesitate to reach out. But thank you again for attending. As Sarah mentioned, we have recorded this. We'll be sharing it out on our social media channels and probably sending it out in an email to those folks who have registered tonight. So you will get a recording if you needed to go back and listen to anything again. So thank you again. We look forward to partnering with you if you choose to enroll your child at TOA, and have a wonderful evening.